Thanks for checking out my video. I have a website called stormthecastle.com where I have a lot of interesting videos like this and a lot of interesting projects. This is part 2 of the how to make a diorama tutorial, and in this tutorial, in part 1, I showed you how to make this shell. In part 2, I'm going to show you how to start to bring some of the color and the flavor out in it and make it a real terrain. By the time we're done with this whole tutorial, we'll have made a complete diorama. But this part 2, now I'm going to show you how to start to flesh this out into a real terrain. And the first thing I want to do is look at some of the materials. To do this, excuse me, you're going to need some brushes, a variety of different types of paints. Those are the paints that are very earth-based, greens, browns, and grays, slate greens, a little bit of white, but a lot of green and a lot of brown. And you're going to need some glue. Now, I have a couple of different types of glue here. I have glue that's in a spray bottle, which is really nice. This is really convenient kind of stuff. And you can buy this, or you can actually make this yourself by just cutting down some regular white glue with about a 50% mix of water and putting that in any kind of a spray bottle. And the important thing to know about using something like that is, as soon as you're done using the bottle, make sure you wash it out, wash the nozzle with hot water really well. That'll clean out all the glue so it doesn't get jammed up. So now you can use it again. And then also I have some different terrain materials that I have here. I like to use woodland scenics materials. There's different greens and browns for turf, and there's different textures. Some textures are thicker than others, and some textures are very fine. This will make a nice dirt right here. And I wanted to show you too that shaker bottles work really well. I've used a spice bottle here, and I put some turf in it. And now with that, I can shake that onto the diorama. It'll look really nice. Some talus, little tiny rocks. So you can buy all of this stuff. I use a lot of woodland scenic stuff, but you can also make a lot of this stuff yourself by dyeing sawdust or even soil, or being creative. You can cut the bristles off of this brush, off of a brush. Well, dye it first, color you want, green, yellow maybe, and then once it's dried, you can cut the bristles off, and that'll make great little tufts of grass. So you can be creative, or you can buy some materials like that too. They're not that expensive. Now the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to actually start adding some colors. Now you should have drawn some kind of a picture. A little map for yourself as to how you wanted to lay out your diorama. You know, trees here and rocks here and whatnot. And if you have that little map, it'll be really convenient because it'll show you what different colors you want and where you're going to put them. But this something like this is just a base coat, and it's going to make a big difference. You want to do something like this to get rid of all the white. This is the actual. So you apply different colors. I'm going to have some green here. You want all the most important thing is you want all the white to disappear. So there's no need for me. I'm gonna cut, and I'll tune you right back in. I'll tune you right back in once I've had all of this colored. But you have patterns you're going to use. So I'm going to have some gray and some brown here because there's going to be rocks. And green on the top of the little hills. So I'll be right back. Now we've got it all painted up here, and we're ready for the next step. Once that all dries, or you don't even really have to wait until it's completely dry, there's a couple of things you want to do. Now we're going to start to add the real terrain to it. So I'm going to show you a little spot right here. What I do is you put a little bit of glue on there, and cement. Maybe brush it in a little bit, and then from there we can sprinkle our base material on there. Now that's going to make it real. Now all of a sudden it's going to go from paper mache to actual terrain. It's going to look really nice. So you have to work in small areas with that, and you have to work your way through this. Sprinkle a little terrain on there. And you do the same thing, and to lock that terrain in, you might want to sprinkle a little more. So you sprinkle a little more on there. But you put the glue on nice and thick. Like that. The cement. Sprinkle on your terrain, like this. See, and this is a spice bottle that I use, and it works really well. If you don't have any spice bottles, you can also buy bottles. This is one that I bought from a woodland scenics. If you don't have any spice bottles, you actually can do something like this, and this works really well. Use a piece of paper, put some of your terrain on there and then sprinkle that on. And that works really nice. You can get a good feel for it. But the point here is to cover the whole terrain and to remember your different colors. So all my green's going to go first, and I'll sprinkle that on. Now what happens is the base underneath disappears, and now it becomes real terrain. And generally keep to your color scheme that you're using. All this up here is green, almost all this. So that's pretty much all ground cover. Now I just wanted to show you a little bit more as I'm doing this. I'm starting to get into deeper textures, into thicker textures now. See here I have the thicker things, and I'm also going to start to get a little bit thicker with my textures. Down here and along here and up here. And that's how you do it. Is you start with the very thinnest textures, and then you start to work towards your thicker textures. Now the thing about this, and you have to do this, because this is why a spray bottle really comes in handy, is it'll seal those bigger textures right into place. Once that dries, that'll dry clear. That'll be dry nice and clear, and these bigger textures will be right in place. See it like that. So I'll arrange these up a little bit more. See how I've got this coming out? That's coming out really nice. I'm going to leave most of the brown there. A little bit more cross turf from here. And we're just about done. And it's just about it. The important thing is you start from you lay out your paint first, then you lay your very thin layers of texture, and then you build up towards thicker and thicker texture until you get stuff that's almost like brush here, like this. And that's that for the base of your terrain. In the next tutorial, I'll show you how to add to build this up even further by adding real bushes and big trees and stuff like that. Thank you. Remember to take a look at my website where I have lots more stuff, strongthecastle.com.